Something a little different today for our video. Hopefully in this we're going to show you, how I practice in my journey from switching from right-handed as a golf professional to left-handed. We're down at Burnley Golf Course today, and one of the amazing things about this facility is that we can move the flags around. They're spiked into the ground, so we can sort of create the shot that is really what we want to try and practice. So you'll see that I've basically just thrown the balls on the ground there. There's two ways to practice: is to give yourself that really perfect lie, and that's probably a good idea to do so when you're first starting out in golf, is to try and give yourself the best lie on the ground possible. Even if you have to use a tee to help get the club under the ball, certainly anything that's going to help you generate confidence is only a good thing. For myself, I've sort of learned that golf is not a game of perfect. We never get a great lie all the time, so I best practice by just literally throwing the balls on the ground like I have here and just chipping. Really just focusing on trying to find that low point, and something I'll talk about throughout this video is just finding where the club hits the ground consistently on that low point. You'll see here that I try to pick the balls up like I would as a right-handed pro. Unfortunately, with a left-handed club. Yep. Well done, clown. Yep, just give up and pick it up. So yeah, as I was saying, what we really want to focus on today with this practice session is trying to find that low point, and that means we're going to consistently use the same club. The club I have here, and I'll touch on it a bit later in this video, is the Cleveland Smart Sole Chipper. For somebody who's fairly established in the game, if you had said to me 12-18 months ago that I'd be using a chipper, I would have laughed at you and told you not in a million years. But fortunately, I have taken a different view learning golf again this time around, and it's all about how do we try and make the golf learning process even easier than probably what it was first time around 35 plus years ago, when we didn't have the amazing technology and equipment that we do now. Very traditional golf clubs back then, and very hard to hit golf clubs. We're fortunate now that obviously technology's advanced to the point that we have things like the chippers, and you'll see a bit later on in the video the sand wedges and things that we have available to make life even easier. And I certainly encourage people to embrace that technology and embrace the things that are going to make life easier. It's almost like a cheat code using these things. You'll see once again here I'm just sort of throwing the balls down randomly. Wherever they finish. I'll chip them from that spot. As mentioned earlier, if you're still sort of getting to grips with the club and hitting the ball consistently, certainly don't be afraid to throw it on a tee, or at least make sure it's sitting on a nice lie. Don't try and chip it out of a divot or out of thick rough or anything like that whilst you're sort of still practicing and finding your way. It's all about learning and getting that consistency of strike. The more consistent we can be with the strike, then obviously we can start to advance into other shots as we go, but we really want to make sure that we're honing in on getting that consistent strike on the ball. Not worried too much about direction and distance as much as taking note of it and creating that feel and that repetition. We're still just all about just trying to create a nice consistent strike on the golf ball. You'll see here I've sort of thrown it into an area that's a little bit longer, an area in which is being left to grow a bit longer to practice those shots out of that semi-rough. So again, the lie isn't perfect, but this is where these clubs are amazing. They really help. No matter how bad the lie, how good the lie, these Smart Sole chippers, or any chipper for that matter, certainly help. So don't be afraid to swallow a bit of pride if you have to, and make sure you at least give one of these a go. Borrow one off someone if you know they've got one, or hopefully your local pro shop or golf shop has a demo that you might be able to take out. But certainly look to try and embrace that technology. One thing I'll mention here is when you're practicing, try and use the same golf ball that you use when you are out playing. It just helps create that consistency of feel, the consistency of not only the strike and the feel on the club face, but how that golf ball reacts when it lands on the ground. Golf balls do react differently, and they're designed to do so. So a tour style golf ball will be feel a lot softer around the greens in this sort of situation, and will tend to stop a lot quicker when struck properly, compared to something that's a little bit more forgiving in its nature. The practice session got a brief interruption here, having a chat to the golf course superintendent and filling me in on all the amazing work that they do around here. The golf course has certainly come on leaps and bounds, and it's one of my favourite venues to play. And we've got the balloons in the background there flying through the sky. Different style of chip shot this time, just showing the versatility of the club that we've got. Still the same club, still the same chipper that we're using here, but just shows that we can use it in all different scenarios. So this shot here is, as much as it doesn't show up on camera on this angle, is a little bit more uphill. We're sort of in a low spot here, so we're just chipping, just trying to land the ball on the edge there and let it run down to the hole. It's downhill to the hole, and you can see from this nest angle the that elevation change and just how versatile one club can be with the different shots that we can play. One of the things you do want to try and do where you can during a practice session is vary up the style of shot you have, and if you can use the same club to try and play different shots and get a little bit more creative. Obviously that's a little bit more advanced than just say you're pure raw beginner. If you are just starting out very much at the very start of the game, it might be an idea just to play and practice the same style of shot a few more times. And I've certainly done so a lot more than what shows on video here. It's a bit of a compilation of the different styles of shot that I hit throughout this morning. And here's the weapon we've been using, this Cleveland Smart Sole chipper. So you can see here, nice low profile on the face, really allows to get the club in under the ball and into the air in those really tricky tight lies. And then you'll see here this nice wide smart sole. Allows the club just to, through all different surfaces that we play off, good, bad or indifferent, to really help get the ball up into the air. Threw a few balls in the bunker, just hit a couple of shots here. Another example of using technology, so we've got the Cleveland Smart Sole sand iron here. It's a 58-degree sand iron, nice wide sole. Won't go into the technicalities of bunker play, because at the end of the day this thing is literally like cheating. You just throw the balls in there and just you can see I've got a fairly neutral square stance, club square, nothing of this open stance and open faces. It's all just square to square. Hit a bit far behind that one, a bit of a duff, but we leave the bad ones in. No one's perfect. And so you'll see, same thing, square stance, square face, and just swing the club in behind the ball. We get this one out just, but the main thing is this club just allows us to really have a very, the same style of swing we would around the rest of the course. We don't have to adjust too many crazy different setups and things like that just to get the ball out onto the green. The main objective here is we just want to get the ball out onto the green and have a putt for whatever our next score might be and get it out of the sand. Always remember, look after the ground staff. They certainly look after us. Make sure we rake the bunker, whether it's practice or out on the golf course. Here's the Smart Sole, the Cleveland Smart Sole. Again, you can see that nice wide sole that it has on it, like the chipper does. It really allows the club to get through the sand. You don't have to. You can get as aggressive as you want with it, and that's what we want with the bunker shot. Really aggressive play. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time when we